Hi guys, I'm back. This video is about Vindex and the initiation. Again, nothing scary or creepy or sinister happened, but it was interesting. If you look at the sigil, it is not really, for me, an interesting thing, but for some odd reason it turned counterclockwise, and the sigil turned, and it was like I was in a plane or something, or I even became the plane. It was metal and it had screws on them, and it was just really weird. It was something between black and green, and it was old and it was dark and it was black, and I can't remember entering this plane, or not as a plane as in a room or a level, but in an aeroplane, something like that. And I touched it, and it was metal and it was cold, and I could feel where the metal plates were connecting, and I felt the screws, and then I went flying towards Devilists in Germany, where the black sun is in that castle, and I found myself standing on the black sun, and I was like, okay, beam me up, Scotty. But I went down to some kind of cellar or something, and so I was on the black sun. I thought, beam me up, but I went down into a dark cellar, and it turned in some kind of theater or coliseum, and there was a stage, and there were a lot of beings or entities or demons around me that had a bit of a reptilian appearance, but they were translucent and soft at the same time, so they didn't have the scales like if you touch a snake or something. It's just hard and shiny at the same time, but this was like a jellyfish kind of touch. And everybody was silent and staring at the stage, and I was like, hey, what are we waiting for? And they were, shh, Vindex, shh, Vindex, shh, shh. And I was like, okay, we're waiting for Vindex, and I was like, do you already know when he's coming, or she? Shh. And they just refused to give me an answer. So I was looking at an empty stage, nobody was there, and I was looking around, and these beings, there were thousands of them, and they all had the same features and the same genetics or something, and they were grayish black. So that was kind of weird. I couldn't look them in the eye or really communicate or talk to them, and I thought that, well, that's it. And I was the only one that looked like a human, and all the others looked like this reptilian kind of beings, and they all kept staring at the stage, and it felt like they have been waiting there for at least 300 years or something. To me, they looked quite old. They were taller than me, they were lean, muscular, they were translucent and solid at the same time. and just staring at that stage, which remained empty. So I spent a lot of time standing there and sitting there with these entities or beings, waiting for something to happen, but nothing happened. And then I decided after 3 days that enough is enough. I'm just going to take a break and see what else pops up. And there was one of them told me to start talking to a name that I still can't remember. I hear it, but I can't pull it into this world for some odd reason. So I decided to quit and start all over. And then it became more of a tower, like a Jenga tower. And they showed me how they were able to pull one brick out of the tower, which had room enough for a lot of beings and entity. It wasn't like an ark, but it was more like a brick or block or something like that. It was something between wood and metal, and suddenly I was staring in the eyes of a galgo greyhound. That is a Spanish hunting dog. Podencos are dogs, is a breed that is bred to catch rabbits, and galgos are bred to catch hare. If galgos can't find a hare, they will chase after little dogs like terriers or chihuahuas or lesser beings, and it's not really to be cruel or they're out to kill this little dog, but it's just a reflex. That's what they do. They are bred to hunt small animals, and as soon as a little dog moves, they hit, they attack, they go after it. And that's why a lot of galgos have a muzzle, because they don't really mean to be mean, but it's just a reflex. So I was staring in the eyes of a galgo and I was like, that's not Lanus, that's another dog, so what's it doing here? I really don't know. But what I did pick up was that the brick that was being prepared to leave the tower was part of the tower and was hidden in the tower and was blending in and sort of invisible. And I thought, well, if they show me how to get this brick going and leave this tower with all a lot of other communities or societies or whatever, this tower will probably collapse. And it didn't. It was just one brick somewhere at the bottom that was able to leave the tower and keep the whole thing intact. And it wasn't falling down or collapsing or things like that, but it was clear that it had like a cruise ship, different compartments for different people, and it was nice to see how it was. It just was like, I don't know, it was metal and it was light and dark at the same time, and I am totally into aliens right now. I don't know why. And this symbol really is supposed to transport people from, I don't think it was meant to, it was built to bring people from one place to another, wherever that other place was, but it didn't work. And I was touching it and feeling it, the first metal plane, aeroplane thing, and it was old and cold, and there was no life or movement. It was silent and solid and metal and old, and it wasn't rusty, it was very well preserved. And the black sun brought me down to a cellar, and the cellar turned into a theater, a coliseum, where I was waiting with all those reptilian kind of beings. And I think I'm not done yet with this whole Vindex thing. It's nice, it's interesting. I can skip it and just continue the journey through the Tree of Word, but for some odd reason I would like to know more about that person that I'm supposed to contact, and I want to know more about how this Jenga kind of thing works. And I don't know where it is. I think I know where it is, but I'm not sure exactly. But anyway, that was all actually. But it did make me think about how we are going to survive on this earth or leave this earth in whatever shape is possible. And that's what I'm going to meditate on now. So that's it. See you next time. Bye.
The Devil's Temple.